Greetings, fellow Gorehounds, and welcome back to a blood splattered stream. And let's get some things set up, and then we'll get going. Oh, all right. Properties. There we go. All right. Okie dokie. Now let's tweet or skeet or whatever the fuck the terms are anymore this stream out. Hey, Catherine, how you doing? Finally, my phone gave me an alert when these started. That's awesome. I'm glad it finally gave you the alert. Hey, Luca. Hey, Lucas. How you doing? Hey, Ames. Would you rather become Davin Dashchama, I don't know how to pronounce that guy's name, his agent, or Samara Weaving's agent? Oh man, that's a tough call. I honestly don't know, because I fucking adore both of them. Hey, Guru, when will you watch Asvins? Asvins sounds familiar. What is Asvins? All right, got that posted out. All righty then. So what exactly is Asvins? I'm pretty good. How's your day been so far? My day's been pretty good. Actually, to be completely honest, I slept in today, so I literally woke up like an hour ago. Just trying to relax and watch some creepy shit on YouTube. Not a bad time. Asvins, a Tamil horror movie on Netflix. Well, I'll have to look it up. I have not watched it. I'll put it on the list. Last night, I finally watched Cobweb, and that was really good. Hopefully, this week I can get Jack to vlog it with me. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. Ass fins, like ass burgers? Nah, I'm probably mispronouncing it, to be completely honest. How you doing, nice fan? Hey, Grape Shot. I just watched the movie Sisu. He's a Nazi killing machine, and he would give the bear Jew a run for his money. Fuck yeah. Sisu's awesome. Sisu, for the longest time, was on my top 10 list of movies of this year on my Letterboxd account. And it recently got knocked down by a couple of really awesome movies, but it's still a fucking great movie. Sisu's fantastic if you haven't seen it yet. Especially if you like a movie where someone kills a whole lot of Nazis. Good shit. Got myself a caffeinated beverage to get my day going. Ace the Chain Gang Soldier. You must be the horror guru, and I love your collab with Brian Zan and on See No Evil. Oh, hell yeah, yeah. I remember that. That was a while back. Brian Zane does really great stuff, really great wrestling stuff. So you going to be like me and pay a shit ton for the Talk to Me hand when A24 puts it online for sale? Most likely, yeah. I'm going to pay a shit ton of money for that. I want it. I want it badly. I haven't wanted a props this badly since they put Benny for sale from Benny Loves You. Sisu, no dog was harmed in the making. Thank God. I ordered Monster Squad on DVD and can't wait to rewatch that. Fuck yeah. Wolfman's got nards, man. Actually, I've been trying to get my girlfriend to show her son Monster Squad because he's been starting to get into like child's horror movies, and I really think he'd like Monster Squad if he'd watch it. I did show him Paranorman, and he liked that. Have you heard about the Hulu alien movie No One Will Save You? The name sounds familiar, but I don't think I know anything else about it. Man, you changed a lot. Like, I mean, yeah. I mean, if your last reference for me was the Brian Zane cameo or crossover, then yeah, I would have changed a lot in those however many years it's been. It's got to be at least 6 or 7. James A. Janis wants the Talk to Me hand as well. Can't blame him. Can't blame him. Monster Squad documentary was great. Yes. So have you been hearing the rumors about them making a new Nightmare on Elm Street movie? Yeah, I read the rumors that apparently like Blumhouse was working on making one. But then I saw that those rumors were debunked, so I don't know if they're still making one or not. But for the record, if Blumhouse was making a Nightmare on Elm Street movie, I would totally be there. No One Will Save You is on Hulu September 22nd. All right, I'll have to check it out then. Come September, I'll give it a chance. Hey Guru, I just saw Talk to Me and it was fantastic. Fuck yeah, Neon Ghost Wolf. Talk to Me is one of the best horror movies of the year, bar none. Have you ever watched the zombie movie called Dead Heist 2007? No, and I'm actually surprised I haven't heard of this movie. It's from 2007, you say? Oh man, I'll have to check it out. 12 watching, 3 likes. Come on, hell yeah! Get those likes in the description below. Like this stream. Also, send me super chats. I like super chats. Super chats are money. I like money. Actually, I hate money, but, you know, you got to make a living. Will you watch the Goldilocks horror movie? That's real, by the way. Maybe. Hey, Victor Necrofunk. How you doing? Smash that like button. Smash that like button like it's your ex-girlfriend and you just hooked up again. So with a lot of regret. Talk to Me is so good. Hell yeah, Devin Boca. Would you rather use Hulu for 21 years or Netflix for 67 years? Honestly, for all of its faults, I've actually gotten over the years more consistent and great use out of Netflix than Hulu. But that's not to say Hulu hasn't gotten me great stuff. I mainly use Hulu these days for the other streaming services that I have connected to it, like Stars. I watch a lot of Stars and like Showtime and shows like that through Hulu. So, which I don't know if that counts as Hulu or just counts as, you know, one of those bundled streaming platform things. Cody Forever, nice. Will you watch The Last Voyage of the Demeter? Yes, I am planning on watching it this Tuesday because my local theater actually does cheap Tuesdays where it's like half price. So I'm going to try to see it on Tuesday. That's how I see most movies these days when they're actually in theaters, is I go to that theater on their cheap Tuesdays because ticket prices are really expensive now. I've been hearing that the dude who made Fried Berry is making Street Trash. Yeah, here's the thing. Here was my journey on learning about the Street Trash remake. I first learned that they were remaking Street Trash, and I was like, why? That movie is such a product of its time. I can't imagine you translating it in any way to the modern context. But then I heard that the Fried Berry director's making it, and I was like, oh, wait, hold on. Let him cook, because I couldn't handpick a better choice than the Fried Berry director if I tried. So maybe this Street Trash Remakes actually has a chance. You kind of look like Snitsky. Is Snitsky a wrestler or something else? Hulu is a star on Disney Plus in the UK. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, Last Voyage of the Demeter is the Dracula one. It takes that chapter from Dracula where Dracula's on the boat and then stretches that out into a full movie. It's basically Alien on a boat with Dracula. I hope you do a Blood Splattered cinema video on Blood Diner. It's one of my favorite horror movies. Ooh, that's not a bad choice. I haven't considered doing Blood Diner before, but that would be a great choice for a Blood Splattered cinema episode. The current one that I've been editing for the last few months is King Kong versus Godzilla, which I'm really worried about because every time I do a Toho movie, the algorithm / the copyright strikes start hitting me hard. Look up Snitsky. All right, let's do this. What am I getting myself into? Wait, did I just... Apparently I turned off the music on accident. Oops. Let me fix that. Oh, man. There we go. Let's see, Snitsky. All right. If you're talking about this Gene Snitsky guy, I can see it. Have you tried watching the horror comedy anime Zom 100 Bucket List of the Dead? I have not. And I just saw that they did a Netflix live action adaptation of it. And that's how I found out the anime existed in the first place, which is funny because I've had Crunchyroll forever. But I just now noticed that was even a thing. So I have not watched it. I've actually just recently caught up on the Funimation dub of One Piece. So I'm at wherever they are currently on Crunchyroll on the dub for that. I was working my way through what they have done on the Wano arc. And of course, once I caught up with them, I went back to the beginning and started rewatching One Piece because I swear every year I have this phase where I just rewatch the entirety of One Piece because it's such a great thing to put on in the background while I'm doing other things. I've seen a movie in a theater. I haven't seen a movie in the theater since Last Jedi. That was on my friend's dime, and I paid him back. Gotcha. Theaters are expensive now, so I get watching it at home now. I'm having a shitty day dealing with my mentally and verbally abusive mom and Bob Gunter. I'm sorry, man. I should have just ignored her when she told me she was sick. Yeah, I get that. Hang in there, my dude. Hang in there. Are you interested in Rob Savage's next film, The Night of the Ghoul, which is about a father and a son who uncover an old horror movie? I'm interested now. Didn't know that was a thing before, but now I'm interested. Stars or Showtime also made... made Counterparts. Okay, I'll have to check that out. I haven't watched that one. It was about J.K. Simmons playing two versions of the same guy. Ooh, I like that. Never do one on 3 and a meat hook. Since I watched the original Deranged Vision stream, and my God, it has less life than Manos. Yeah, you're not wrong. The best guinea pig film is Mermaid in a Manhole, in my opinion. That one holds up. Oh yeah, King Kong versus Godzilla. I wanted King Kong to win, but I love the scene where he blocks Godzilla's atomic breath with the axe and then brings it down on them. Absolutely. The one that I'm reviewing for Blood Splattered Cinema is actually the 1960s version, in which King Kong actually does win. Are you going to watch live action One Piece? Yes, actually. Live action One Piece is actually the reason why I decided to catch up on Wano. And was also part of the impetus for why I started rewatching One Piece once I caught up on it. I fucking love One Piece. And here's the thing about the live action version. It has zero chance of lasting beyond 1 or 2 seasons. So they're never going to get to the stuff that's going to be impossible for them to adapt in the first place. But the stuff they are adapting, the East Blue Saga, that stuff they can totally pull off. So I'm down to see if they do. I like the cast. I like the look of it. Arlong looks a little weird, but he looks about like what I expected for the characters that have really weird proportions in One Piece. Obviously, they were going to have a hard time doing those characters without fully CGIing them, and they opted instead to go for the practical effects route, which I got to applaud them for, even though it looks a little wonky. So yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic about the live-action One Piece. Then again, I actually liked the live-action Cowboy Bebop, unlike the rest of the internet, so I'm a weird person that way. Would you rather live in the Zom 100 universe or the Euphoria universe? Okay, I feel like I already kind of live in the Euphoria universe, given how fucked up that universe is and how fucked up real life is. And I haven't seen Zom 100, so I don't even know what that universe is like. I'm going to assume if there's zombies that it's pretty bad. The anime is so long, no way they will last. Exactly. Like, if a Netflix show typically lasts about 3 seasons, if that, then there's no way they're going to be able to do most of One Piece. They might make it to the Alabasta arc, but that's probably as far as they'll get. I know the first season's going to do the entirety of the East Blue Saga, which makes sense. You could totally do that in 1 season. Live action versions of anime are always a coin toss. Exactly, they are. Do you think a PG-13 guinea pig film would work? What would be the point? Like, the whole attraction to the guinea pig films is that they're fucked up extreme cinema. PG-13 would kind of take that away, wouldn't it? I mean, if there's a way to be extreme and to still be PG-13, then go for it, but I don't know what that way would be. I only got as far as Chopper's introduction and backstory in One Piece, and I was really on and off with the anime and manga. Fair enough, yeah. Oh god, the live-action Devilman, yeah. For me, my standard for, like, really terrible live-action anime adaptations is Dragon Ball Evolution. That, to me, is what happens when you completely fail on every level. Something like Cowboy Bebop, or even Netflix's Death Note, it doesn't entirely hit the mark, but is nowhere near Dragon Ball Evolution. Like, I still like those for what they are, even though they don't entirely scratch the same itch. Funny enough, the One Piece anime so far, based on the trailers and the clips they've released, actually does look like it's pretty spot on. There's some dialogue changes that are a little different, but so far, it looks pretty spot on. At least to the tone of One Piece. I think there was a PG-13 film that had a rape scene. All right, rock on. I suppose that exists. I'd love to see Alex Winters do a sequel to Freaked, aka Hideous Mutant Freaks, all practical, and have Keanu Reeves reprise his role as the dog boy. I'd be so down for that. Inject that shit into my veins, is what I say. I'm gonna keep it 100. Live action Cowboy Bebop wasn't even that bad. That's what I'm saying. Like, it had a slightly different tone than normal Cowboy Bebop. It was a little bit more fun, but it felt like all the things I love about like a Tarantino or Robert Rodriguez movie, but stretched into a show based on one of my favorite animes. I don't think that show was that bad. And what I thought was the weirdest is that some of the shit that people ragged on the most, like Ed, was like pretty one-to-one from the anime. Like, people hated on that, but that was like a pitch perfect adaptation of the character. Yeah, the Devilman live action was really bad. True. Which anthology movie could you watch forever? Oh, that's easy. Creepshow. I could watch Creepshow anytime, day and night. Creepshow 2 to a certain extent as well, but Creepshow 1 definitely. Also, Trick or Treat. Trick or Treat I could watch anytime. Another anthology that I could watch anytime. God, what was it called? Fuck. Hold on. What was the name of this goddamn movie? Chillerama. I could watch Chillerama anytime, too. Fucking love Chillerama. Are you interested in VHS 85? Hell yeah. These new VHS movies they've been doing on Shudder have been really good so far, so I'm all in. They've also been really consistent. Like, I was a little worried after VHS Viral that the franchise was going to transition into something a little bit more hit or miss. But these Shudder VHS movies have been some of the most consistent VHS movies they've made. So I'm all in. How many of you out there have seen the movie Cobweb yet? I highly recommend you do. It was released a couple months ago, which is weird because it's definitely a Halloween movie. But it just hit streaming. You can rent it now on like Amazon and shit like that. And I highly recommend you do. Though I'll tell you this right now, they obviously had a hard time marketing Cobweb. And the reason why they had a hard time is because the selling point of the movie is actually a major spoiler. So either they give away the spoiler or they market it on what's left if you don't have the spoiler, which is what essentially looks like a movie that's just about childhood abuse, which doesn't exactly sound like a fun Halloween romp. But trust me, the movie actually is. It just has this unfortunate structure where the major spoiler for the movie is also the main reason to watch the movie. Yeah, Homelander is great as the abusive father. So is what was her name? Annie. She was Annie Wilkes on Castle Rock, who plays the mother, giving like hardcore other mother vibes in this movie. Last Voyage of the Demeter looks really good. The director did a really good job on the autopsy of Jane Doe. Fuck yeah. I forget how to pronounce that dude's name, but the dude did Troll Hunter, Autopsy of Jane Doe, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. I've loved every film he's done so far, so I am all in on Last Voyage of the Demeter. But like I said, I'm going to be seeing it on Tuesday when the theater does the half-off thing. Lizzie Kaplan, yes, that's her name. Lizzie Kaplan is the mother in Cobweb. I heard about it and my friend pitched it to me and it made me think of Parents from '89. There's some similar vibes there. Though trust me, it goes a little wilder than that. without spoiling too much, throw a little bit of like, if you take parents and throw a little bit of people under the stairs in there, you're going to be closer in the ballpark, but not quite there. Would you rather be trapped in the shit room from Saw or be trapped in the woods with the mutants from Wrong Turn? Oh, man. I ain't gonna lie. I might have a chance against those mutants, but that shit room, oh my God. What a terrible way to die. I'd be down to see a horror Marvel movie of Spider-Man where he's entirely made of spiders and it's something like Out of the Mist. Oh God, I think his name is Spiders-Man in the comics. A Spider-Man that's composed entirely of a bunch of sentient spiders. I think it's Spiders-Man is his name. Oh, that's what you said. Sorry, I misread your post. You did say Spiders-Man. I'd watch that. I'd watch that before I'd watch Craven or Morbius, that's for sure. They need to fast track more scary stories to tell in the Dark sequel. Hell yeah. Especially given the way that movie ended. It ended, the movie had an ending, right? But it also ended on that, here's what's going to happen next kind of cliffhanger. And I really want them to make that sequel. I don't just leave that guy in Vietnam, man. I got to know what happens to him. I've seen The Last Voyage and it was great. I couldn't catch Cobweb in theaters near me, sadly. Yeah, I had the same problem. I had to watch it when it hit streaming this last week because none of my local theaters were playing it, unfortunately. The closest I could find was about 2 hours away, which is rare. I actually live in a pretty major city area, and the idea that there was a movie that I couldn't see in theaters is actually a rarity. But that happened with Cobweb. It was in such limited release that I could only see it 2 hours away from me. So I rented it when it hit Amazon. Hey Guru, have you heard about Netflix Sisu Blood and Gold? Oh, are they making another Sisu? Or did Sisu just hit Netflix? I like the first Sisu. By the way, if none of you have seen Sisu, it's from the same director who did that, that Dutch Christmas horror movie, Rare Exports. He did Rare Exports. And his new movie, Sisu, is about this dude whose gold is stolen by a bunch of Nazis, so he goes on a Nazi killing spree. It's a great movie. It's kind of like John Wick with Nazis. For the actors, replace every actor's face, but with Homelanders. Director said that he plans a Sisu 2. Rock on. The one thing I will say about Sisu, as opposed to John Wick, at the end of the day, is still a man, just a very talented man. You're not convinced by the end of Sisu that he isn't some sort of supernatural creature. He totally could be. I was iffy when it was announced that Gundam was getting a live-action film. A new Gundam story in live-action from within the mythos would be more welcome over adapting an existing story. Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah. The problem with adapting these long-form stories into a single film is that, man, that's a rough call. It's different when you're adapting comic books as opposed to mangas. Because comic books, yeah, they're all in continuity with each other, but there's been so many stories and so many different variations over the years that changing things for a movie feels okay. But manga is a continuous story that's within canon with itself from the get-go. And when they adapt it into animated formats, they usually do it pretty one-to-one. So adapting it into a movie format and having to condense it and to cut down shit always feels weird. In a way, it doesn't when you're doing a comic book. I'm looking forward to The Exorcist Believer, The Nun 2. I'm on the fence about. How about you? Well, I was kind of iffy on the first Nun, but I'm hoping The Nun 2 is pretty good, but we'll see. I don't want to hate a movie. Exorcist Believer, I'm actually pretty sold on. I'm cautiously optimistic about it, but I really like the trailer. Marvel needs a deep dive into horror after Werewolf by Night. Hell yeah. I would love to see a Tomb of Dracula adaptation. That'd be so cool. What is the most painful death in a Friday the 13th film? Ooh. Most painful death? Not exactly sure. I always thought like her face being cryogenically frozen looked pretty painful, but that might have been a little bit more instantaneous when you really think about it. The harpoon death from the final chapter, that does look pretty painful. Jason crushing hit the kid's skull in part 7. That's pretty painful too, yeah. Those are good choices. Obviously, anybody beaten against the tree with the bag, which happened twice in Friday the 13th, would be pretty painful. Though one time it happened to AI, so it doesn't really count. Can't wait for the Nun 3, Valak versus the Meg. I've seen changes made in comic adaptations that improve the source material. It's true. It's rare to see that happen with manga adaptations, I agree. I can't think of a manga adaptation that made like a super major change that actually like improved upon it. The closest I can think of is when they remove some of the weird sexism that's in a lot of manga. In particular, shonen anime and manga have a lot of sexism problems. Like, I love One Piece, but One Piece has that problem. There's only so many times the Brooke panties joke plays before it just starts to get obnoxious. I want to see them do another Man-Thing movie, but one that is accurate to the comics and not the god-awful 2005 movie. Yeah, I agree. In New Blood, Sleeping Bag was painful to me. Hell yeah. Super painful. If they make another Evil Dead film, where do you think the setting should take place? I want it to take place in a neighborhood. A military base would be fun. I don't know. It's the only thing I can think of. Did you hear about the greenlit Talk to Me sequel? Yeah. Apparently they had already like filmed and planned a prequel. They pulled an X. I'm so down for the Talk to Me prequel. The eye and the skull crushing execution from part 5 was pretty creative. True. Hey Liam, how you doing? Ted needs a movie. Evil Dead in space. I'd be down for Evil Dead in space. Hell yeah. Evil Dead on a plane, a train, and a plane. Evil Dead plane, trains, and automobiles. Make it a Thanksgiving movie. Have you heard of Night of the Killer Bears? Ted meets Terrifier? I have not. Okay. Interesting. Planning on seeing Talk to Me tomorrow, and I cannot wait. Fuck yeah, Liam. I hope you have a good time. I'm digging the remakes. If they ever decide to do something with Ash, Bruce Campbell, I hope it's in its own universe, not connected to the remakes. Here's the thing. I think Bruce Campbell did a podcast, the Inside of You podcast with Michael Rosenbaum. On that podcast, he talked about why he doesn't want to do Ash. And it really comes down to he was doing Ash versus the Evil Dead. And after being the lead of a TV show and reaching his ripe age of whatever he is right now, he just felt too old to do all the action sequences. It took so much out of him, and he got really tired and exhausted and started having health problems. So he was kind of glad when the show got canceled because then he didn't have to do the role anymore. So I'll be honest, outside of like a cameo, I do not think we're going to see him as Ash ever again. And if we do, it'll be a cameo in which he's not doing like intense action. Evil Dead on a boat with a goat near a moat. There you go, man. Nice fan's got the plan. He's got the plan, man. I meant on a boat, but a plane twice was a funny typo. That's funny. I'm also seeing Haunted Mansion. Yeah, I haven't seen that yet. I do need to see it at some point. Though I'll be honest, I think I'm waiting for it to hit Disney Plus. I got so many other things I want to see in theaters right now. There's also this like shitty part of me that's like, I don't want to go see the Disney horror movie when there's real horror movies out.